Another year has come and gone, and so I am here to do my top 15 books of 2015. Happy New Year, guys! My name is Molly, and today I'm here, like I just said, to talk about my top 15 favorite books of 2015. During 2015, I read a total of 64 books, not including reread, and so I think that's pretty good. It's 10 more than my original challenge. My Goodreads challenge was 55. I want to read more next year, but I will do a separate video about my bookish resolutions type thing. So, there are 15 books to get through, so let's dive in and get started. I started from 15 and going down to 1. 15 is the book I liked the least, and 1 is the book I liked the most, but of course I like all these books because they wouldn't be on my favorites list if I didn't like them all. The first book I'm going to talk about is To All the Boys I Loved Before by Jenny Han. Now, I have just recently read this book, and I loved it. I actually just picked it up on a whim, just like, oh, well, I own the second book, so I might as well get the first. It was amazing. I sped read it. If you don't like contemporaries, I still recommend picking this up because if you've been on my channel, you know I do not really enjoy contemporaries all that much, but this one was adorable, and it held my attention for the time being. This book is about a girl named Lara Jean, and every time she falls in love with a boy, she writes them a love letter. She doesn't send the love letter out, she just puts it in a box, addressed to them, to get her feelings out. But then one day, all her letters to all the boys she's ever loved end up being sent, and all this crap happens, and it's really good. I really enjoy the story, and I haven't read the follow-up novel yet, but I plan to. Number 14 on my favorites list is The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin. I've heard non-stop good things about this series, and so I finally decided to pick it up. I sped read through this one too. It was amazing. I didn't pick it up because I thought it would be really confusing, but I did pick it up, and if you have this book and are holding off because you think it's going to be confusing or really hard to understand, don't just read it because it's really good, and it really doesn't take that much to understand. Like, it's a lot less confusing than I thought it would be. So basically, this story is about a girl, and there is an accident that involves her and her friends. She's the only survivor out of all of her friends, so she moves to a new school, but she thinks she's going crazy because she starts seeing all these hallucinations, and she's getting memories back, and there's just a lot of crap that goes down, and there's a cute little love story in there, and I really enjoy both the main characters. Making number 13 on the list is the Throne of Glass series by Miss Sarah J. Maas. I love these books. I haven't really gotten into the series yet. I've only read the first 2 books in the series. It took me a while to get into Throne of Glass, but once I got into it, I loved it. Crown of Midnight was even better. Crown of Midnight is my favorite out of the 2, and I cannot wait to move on to Heir of Fire, but first I have to read The Assassin's Blade. The first book is about a girl named Selena Sardothian, and she is a Darlin's assassin. And she is put in this like ghetto-type camp. It's a work camp, and the prince gets her out. She is his champion, and basically what happens is it's just a group of criminals who are thrown into this competition to become the king's champion, and basically do all the king's dirty work for him, but there is magic involved and fairies, and I highly recommend this. Sarah J. Maas does fairies so well, because usually I don't like fairies, but Sarah J. Maas does it so well. I love her writing, I love her characters. Give Throne of Glass another shot if you didn't like it. Number 12 on the list is Twilight by Stephenie Meyer. This book I finally read this year. I read the first 3 books in the series and got a quarter of the way through Breaking Dawn before I stopped. I really did enjoy this book particularly. The other ones were pretty good, but this was my favorite out of the series. I just have something to say to all you Twilight haters out there. Have you read the book? Like, it's not the best writing, I'll give you that, but it's nice and simple, and it's a cute storyline, and if you haven't read it or if you don't like it, then that's your opinion. But don't hate on the people that actually do like it, because I really liked this series. So, coming in at number 11, another Sarah J. Maas book, and that is A Court of Thorns and Roses. This book came out this year, and I picked it up just because of all the hype. It was before I read the Throne of Glass series, so I didn't really have any context to go off of, but I really, really loved this book. If you want to know about it, like the synopsis, my thoughts, I will link the book talk I did for this one down below, but I really, really enjoyed this book. It was awesome. Again, it is based in magic and fairies, but again, Sarah J. Maas's fairies are amazing. Number 10 on the list is Vampire Academy by Richelle Mead. I'm holding up the first 2 books because the first 2 books are the only 2 books I've read, Vampire Academy and Frostbite. I really enjoyed these books, Vampire Academy probably more than Frostbite, but both are really good. It's a really fun series. I love the narrator. She's so great. The main characters, they're all wonderful. I really enjoyed these books. They're nice and lighthearted, but they still have lots of serious underlying problems that we need to solve. Basically, the first book is about a girl named Rose and a girl named Lissa. They're best friends. They're specially bonded. They have a psychic bond. And one is a half-human, half-vampire, and the other is a royal vampire, and they run away from St. Vladimir's Academy but are caught and brought back, and Rose basically just has to protect Lissa from all the dangers of the world, but she starts to fall in love, and it's very complicated, and I highly recommend picking up this series. Number 9 on the list is Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. This book is freaking adorable. I love it so much. This book is about a girl named Anna, obviously, and she is sent to boarding school in Paris. Her parents just forced her to go to Paris, and that would be really cool. So she goes to Paris, and she meets this new group of friends. She starts falling in love with one boy, and it's kind of complicated. There are some serious things in it, but mostly it's just fluff and the dramas of a first relationship. It is adorable. I love it so much. I love St. Clair. I finally did pick up a Stephanie Perkins book. I've heard non-stop good things about these. And this is another contemporary that I highly recommend, even if you don't like contemporaries, because it's freaking amazing. Number 8 is The Death Cure by James Dashner. This is the 3rd and final book in the Maze Runner trilogy. Now, a lot of people don't like the Maze Runner trilogy. I freaking love the Maze Runner trilogy. I love the movies. I love the books. I just love Thomas. I love his character. He has his moments, but don't we all? Come on. So I really love this series. I didn't read the rest of the series this year, so that was back in 2014. So I couldn't throw those in this video, but I did read this at the beginning of this year. It was actually the first book I read. I really enjoyed it. It's really, I think this series is nice and action-packed. It's confusing. Sometimes it doesn't make any sense, but sometimes you need that kind of book in your life. I just really enjoy this. I can't wait to see the Death Cure movie, and I can't tell you what this is about without spoiling the first book, but if you're on the fence about picking up The Maze Runner, I say give it a try because I really enjoyed it, even if a lot of other people didn't. Making the list at number 7 is The Murder Complex Duology by Miss Lindsay Cummings. These books are amazing. If you haven't picked them up, I highly, highly recommend picking them up. I picked them up and I loved them. This is such a quick read. It's so fast, and then this one, it took me a day, and it's a pretty good size. So, I mean, they're really quick reads. They're really fun. Basically, it's about a girl and a boy. They live in this city that's, walled in, and every night they have these, sleeper agents. Something is awoken inside of them, and they just go out on killing sprees. And, there are no laws in this world. Everyone just kind of steals from each other, and there's horrible conditions, and when the sleeper agents wake up, they have no idea who they are. They don't know that they're sleeper agents. They just think they're normal people. They don't remember anything about their life, and it's just a wonderful series, and I highly recommend picking this one up. This one's not as dark as this one. This one's kind of dark, but I do recommend picking up both of these books and reading them. Number 6 on the list is Angel Fall by Susan E. I read the first 2 books. I do really, really enjoy this series. I had heard good things, and I finally picked them up and read them, and they are amazing. I've heard that they're really dark, and I didn't think they were all that dark. I mean, they're kind of dark, but they're not all that dark. So I do recommend picking them up. Even if you're lightweight, just pick them up because they're awesome. I love the main characters, Raph and Penryn. Basically, this is about an angel apocalypse, and the angels come down from the skies, and they want to take over the earth. So most of the humans are dead, but some went into hiding, and so this one girl's sister is taken, so she has to team up with an angel without wings to get her sister back. And they're just cutesy love moments in it, and there's also kick-ass moments, and yes, definitely go pick this one up. Number 5 on the list is Alice in Zombieland by Gina Showalter. If you've heard me talk about this book, you know I love it. You know I couldn't stop thinking about it when I read it. I just love this series so much. Basically, it's a retelling of Alice in Wonderland, but with zombies. Her family is killed in this horrible car accident, and so she starts seeing these monsters because of the traumatic experience. It turns out these monsters are real, and she is a zombie hunter. So this group of kids in her school are zombie hunters too, so they take her under their wing. They're kind of forced to, but they do anyway, and stuff happens. And there's romance, and there's cuteness, and there's badassness, and I love it, and definitely go pick this one up. The rest of the series isn't as good. I read the second book this year too, but I'm only putting this one on the list because this is awesome. Number 4 on the list is The Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. I really, really enjoyed this series. I read the whole series this year, well, except for Winter. I'm halfway through Winter, okay? I'm getting there. But I really did enjoy the rest of the series. Basically sci-fi retellings of different fairy tales. Cinder is Cinderella, Scarlet is Little Red Riding Hood, Cress is Rapunzel, and Winter is Snow White. I did read the entire series this year, and I just loved it so much. If you don't like sci-fi retellings, or if you don't like fairy tales, I still recommend picking it up because I know people that don't like sci-fi or don't like retellings and they loved this series. So I do recommend at least trying to pick up the first one. And the first 2 were my favorite in the series, but apparently a lot of people didn't like the first 2. So if you see potential, just keep reading until you get to Cress, because a lot of people liked Cress. I didn't like it so much, but a lot of other people did. Wow, top 3, we're getting down to it. So, number 3 on the favorites list is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I have heard non-stop things about this book, and I finally picked it up this year, and I loved it so friggin' much. I need the second book in my hands right now. Glass Sword. Come on, where are you? So definitely go pick the series up. I did a book talk about this, so if you want to know the premise, or if just the cover interests you because it's freaking beautiful, I will link that down below and you can go watch it. In the beginning there's like a whole non-spoilery section. I love this book. Number 2 on the list is The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Ahdieh. I freaking loved this book so much. Like, I wasn't planning on reading it. I just had it with me on vacation, and I was out of books to read, so I picked this one up, and I read it, and it's amazing. It's amazing. It is basically a retelling of 1001 Nights, and it's so good. Even if you don't like folklore, like, it's just freaking amazing, because I like folklore. This book makes me want to get into folklore. So it is about a girl named Scheherazade and a boy named Khalid. Khalid is the boy king, and Scheherazade hates the boy king because every night the boy king takes a new wife and kills them at sunrise. He took her best friend, so now she wants revenge. She wants to go kill him, but she ends up surviving the first couple nights because of this plan she conceived, and she ends up falling in love with Khalid, and it's a really cute love story. There is a love triangle, but Renee did it really well, and I can't wait for the second book, The Rose and the Dagger, which is coming out in 2016. And drumroll please, drumroll please, number 1 on the list is The White Hot Kiss, oh you can't see it, The White Hot Kiss Trilogy by Jennifer L. Armentrout. These books are freaking amazing. I read them this year. This series is full of kick-assery. I did a book talk on White Hot Kiss, so I definitely will link that down below if you want to check that out, you want to know more about the premise, but I didn't do book talks for the second and third book, so let me know if you guys want to see that, because I have notes, I just never did it. So, yeah. But basically, these books with the horrible covers are freaking amazing. They're about demons and gargoyles and a hybrid and hunters, and it's just amazing, and you have to go pick it up. I love Jennifer Armentrout's writing. She's so funny, she's so, like, nothing's held back with her, and I love that about her writing. It's just amazing. I read this whole trilogy this year. I read it all in a month, and I just loved it so much. You have to pick up this series. Like, there's not enough hype surrounding Jennifer Armentrout, and especially this series. Just, if you have to recommend a book to someone, if you're looking for a book to get out of a reading slump, this is perfect. This is like reading a giant fan fiction. Oh my god, just pick up these books. Tell people about these books. I love these books. So that is it for my favorites list of 2015. Let me know if any of these books made your list. What did you think of all these books? Did you read them in 2015? What videos do you guys want to see in 2016? Like, I don't know, do you guys want more tag videos? Do you want more book talks? Because I will happily do book talks if you guys want me to. I just don't know if you guys like my book talks. So let me know down below what you guys want to see. So I hope you really enjoyed your year 2015, and I hope 2016 is even better for you. Bye, guys.